Hey everyone, John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing an app that I've seen a few of you asking about in some of our YouTube comments, Promova. It's a pretty cool new app from a company based in Europe, and today I'm going to break down how it works, what I like and don't like about it, and ultimately whether I think it's an effective tool to learn a new language. And just as a heads up, because I'm just going to be covering the major highlights and lowlights in this video, if you find you need some more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written review of Promova over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight Promova Review. It's a quick way to find it. All right, so let's just start this video out by talking about how the Promova app works. So when you first sign up, they're going to ask you a few questions. Why you want to learn, what your current fluency level is, how much time per day and per week you have to learn, and a couple other things. With this info, they're then going to generate a custom study plan for you. But even calling it custom is a bit generous. It's more so used to determine where you're going to start at in the program. And that begins with the main tab on the dashboard called My Plan. This is where you're going to see your daily assignments. Basically, the My Plan tab presents you with a certain number of daily lessons to work based on how much time you said you have time for. If you said you have 10 minutes per day, then you get 2 daily lessons. If you said you have 20 minutes, you get 4 daily lessons. You get it. Each lesson is bite-sized, maybe taking just 5 minutes to complete. So that's why you get assigned multiple lessons per day under My Plan. Now, how the lessons play out is pretty simple. There are 3 steps in each lesson. Step 1 starts with a review of some new vocabulary, maybe 5 or 6 new phrases, along with a little context on how they're typically used, called How to Use It. And then in step 2, after you go through your new vocab, you then dive into some practice. This step is usually choosing the correct phrase based on a picture. It goes really fast. Then step 3 is more practice, but with a more diverse set of drills. This includes choosing the word that best matches its English translation, a drill called Choose the Correct Option. This is an open-ended question that makes you think critically about what to say. For example, it might ask you, what do you say if you want to apologize? And then you choose from 3 options. You also type out words and phrases to master spelling and choose what you hear, selecting the phrase you hear that's spoken aloud. That's about it for step 3. Now, when the lesson is complete, it gives you a quick end screen and then it sends you back to the dashboard. That's it. It's honestly pretty straightforward progression through the lessons. Now, after you complete your daily lessons, you're technically done for the day, but you can always move on to work additional lessons under the course section at the top. This tab essentially presents all of Promova's lessons in a descending order of difficulty and level, and you're free to continue working through as many 5-minute lessons as you want. Basically, Promova has a few hundred lessons, all sequentially stacked, and you work through them. Your daily lessons are the next 2 or 3 or 4 in order from the top of the stack, and then you can do extra lessons continuing down the stack if you like. It's pretty simple, really. Now, that's the main self-paced language learning program from Promova. But in addition to this aspect of the app, there's also live lessons available as an add-on. Those are one-on-one or small group classes. But here's the thing. As of right now, they're ESL lessons for English learners only. There are no lessons currently for Spanish learners, German learners, or French learners. And given that I'm a native English speaker, I obviously didn't opt for the live sessions, so I can't really speak as to how they work or whether they're worth it. It looks like a cool learning format and the tutors all look qualified, so if that's what you're watching this video to find out more about, you might just have to sign up for a test session to find out for yourself. But anyway, that's it. The Promova app isn't super complicated. In fact, it's one of the more straightforward apps that I've used and reviewed. So now let's get into what I like and don't like about it. But very quickly, before I dive into that, let's actually talk about the cost of the Promova app. For starters, Promova does have a free version. Just like with Duolingo, you can sign up for the free version and get access to most of their content. And while that's nice, there are 2 big drawbacks with the free plan. For one, like I just said, you can't access all content. Some lessons are restricted to paid premium users. And 2, you get ads during lessons. They won't bombard you with ads like I've seen with other apps, but honestly, they are kind of annoying. So if you want to upgrade to the paid premium version of Promova, here's what you're looking at. The month-to-month subscription costs $30 per month, or if you want to lock it in for 12 weeks, i.e. 3 months, that's going to cost you $50, or a little over $16 per month. So Promova isn't the cheapest program that I've used and reviewed, not by a long shot, but here's the thing. Those are just the full retail prices, and Promova is always running sales and special promotions where you can lock in lower rates, so make sure to check for that. In fact, I'm going to do my best to keep that description down below, updated with their most current deals and discounts, so make sure to check out that text below the video screen if you decide to go with Promova. Their typical sale is usually for 50% off, making the true price of the app closer to $8 per month for the 12-week plan, putting them right in line with Babbel, Rosetta Stone, and others, so make sure to check that out. Alright, so that's how the Promova app works and what it costs. So now let's turn to the pros and cons of this program. And I'm going to keep this a little bit more rapid fire, starting with the pros. So my first pro is that the lessons are fast moving. Like I said earlier, each one takes maybe just 5 minutes. This is great for keeping you engaged, working lessons in around busy schedules, and just generally flexibility. Quick hit lessons like this offer a lot of benefits. Then my next pro is how Promova focuses on the casual conversational form of the language that you're learning. For example, I've been using Promova for German, and it focuses on the do form of you, as opposed to the more formal Z form of you. And if you're not a German learner, don't worry. The point I'm making is just that it focuses on the more modern form of the language you're learning and is more practical for holding conversations. Other apps like Pimsleur focus on the more formal, academic way of learning, which is fine, but I like this more modern, casual, and practical approach. Then, my next pro is the interface. Promova is full of cool modern graphics and font and uses a bunch of haptic feedback, which I love. Essentially, it looks and feels very sleek, and it is really fast. Then after that, my fourth pro is how the mobile app mirrors the website version of the course. Some language learning programs have completely different desktop and mobile app interfaces, and it can be a pain trading off between them. But Promova is seamless between the two. In fact, I would say they actually made this program for the mobile app. The desktop version of the program is vertically oriented and looks just like the phone screen. And honestly, that's how I prefer it, just very clean and seamless between devices. And then lastly, my final highlight here is that Promova is a great way to quickly build out your vocab. As I'll talk about here in a second, Promova is light on grammar, but they're big on vocab. So if you're trying to build out your base of vocabulary before a move or big trip, it is the perfect app for that. All right, so now that we've touched on the pros of using Promova, let's discuss some of the negatives that I found. So the first drawback that I noticed with Promova is that there is very limited grammar instruction. There are only a few dedicated grammar lessons, and even at that, they're pretty cursory. They don't get too deep, which can be an issue for some language newbies. This is definitely a vocab-focused app, and if you need in-depth grammar coverage, you're not going to find that here. Another issue I noted along the way was that there is no speaking or verbal practice in this app. A lot of other apps will have you speak words aloud and grade your pronunciation with software, but not Promova. They don't have any speaking exercises. I generally speak words aloud anyway as I work drills, but this could be an issue. Then in the same vein, my third negative is that there is no video in this program, and very little audio. There are some drills that speak a phrase aloud and you match that to a written phrase, but that's it. I just wish there was some video clips in here and definitely more audio. And lastly, my final complaint is kind of small. The typing drills are a little annoying, especially on the desktop version. I get that spelling is important, but typing out words one letter at a time from a random selection of letters is a little irritating. All of the other exercises are highly engaging, but the typing drills just slowed me down and kind of bugged me. It's kind of a personal complaint, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's about it, so time for my final verdict. But before I get to that, I should just mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free language learning subscription to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter and everyone is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description, but just know it takes like 10 seconds and hey, you never know. You could win a totally free subscription to Promova. All right, final verdict. So, is Promova worth it? I think the answer here is yes, assuming you don't need extended grammar coverage. For me, Promova checks a lot of boxes. It's a really cool, sleek app with short and engaging lessons, and I love how Promova spoon feeds you practical, casual phrases and vocabulary that you can actually start using in conversations right away. Obviously, I think it would be great if they would add in some more audio and speaking exercises to develop your ear for the language and pronunciation, as well as more dedicated grammar lessons, but overall, I think Promova is a great app for building out some really practical vocab and improving your fluency level. But anyway, that's all I have for you. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something about Promova. If so, please return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and drop me a quick comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full, detailed written review of Promova that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website. Again, that's testprepinsight.com, or you can check out the other videos we have out there. We've got a lot of great content. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.